Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gordon Frayne. We are back with another video. Today we're talking about Solana, and we're going to give you an updated price prediction at the end of the video as well. If you enjoy the content, please make sure to give it a thumbs up below, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and you've got a completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin, my gift to you. Grab it in the description below, and let's talk about Solana. So we've seen a pretty strong pullback for Solana over the past couple of months, but we might be bouncing in the market at the moment, and we could be in for a bit more of a surge to the upside for the price of Solana here in the short term. Let's just summarize what's been happening, because what we saw was a lot of hype with the Solana network all the way back in January of this year. We had a nice run up in January. We had an initial run up in the immediate aftermath of the election results in the States, getting up to $262, a little bit of a retracement, run up again to put in a bit of a double top here. But with all the hype around the Trump token launch here around the 19th of January, you saw prices of Solana spiking up as high as $295. And then we saw a very big retracement over the remainder of Q1 2025. This was not unique to Solana. We know Bitcoin and the rest of the market had a pretty strong pullback from mid-January onwards, which dragged Solana and the rest of altcoins down with it. You can see we lost the 200-day by the time we got to the middle of February, and we continued lower. However, as you can see, we broke out of this downtrend by the time we got to the middle of April here. We had lows around the 7th of April, getting as low as $95, but Solana made a move to the upside, getting back up to about $130. We had a nice little period of consolidation for a few days before moving higher, another bit of consolidation before another move, and we're currently sitting just under $150, and we're seeing a nice period of consolidation here on the chart. And in my opinion, we could be getting ready for a move to the upside in the coming days or weeks. Again, we're still relatively far behind the 200-day simple moving average, and we do have a bit more work to get back up to retest and reclaim that. We need to see Solana making another 20% move to the upside before we can truly retest and reclaim that 200-day simple moving average. But you can see when Solana does get above and reclaim the 200-day, we typically see it making some pretty good moves to the upside. We had a 74-75% move to the upside back in Q4 2024 when we saw that move above the 200-day last time around. Let's see what happens, but we know Bitcoin is beginning to follow global M2. We've been talking about this on the channel. Again, if I zoom out on the chart here and just line this up a bit, we know global M2, and Bitcoin has followed global M2 about 82% of the time. Since these April 7th lows, we've seen Bitcoin bounce and begin to follow global M2 to the upside again. If we are to continue following it, and of course it's not guaranteed, but if we follow this line to the upside to follow global M2, we're going to see Bitcoin moving a little bit higher throughout the course of the next couple of months. And we know when Bitcoin makes a move to the upside, Solana will make an even bigger move on a percentage basis. So this move from the lows to where we're at today for Bitcoin is about a 29 to 30% increase in price. And if we look at that percentage move on Solana over the same time period, that is a 55% increase in price for Solana. So when Bitcoin makes a move, Solana will bounce on a higher percentage and outperform Bitcoin on a percentage basis. Okay, lots of other good on-chain stuff happening on Solana. If I jump over to the Artemis terminal very quickly, I like to check this out for the on-chain technical analysis, and we know Solana has been one of the best performers, if not the best performer over the past year. If we zoom out, we're looking at a 3-month period. If we zoom out to a 1-year period here, we can see this green line representing Solana's dominance when it comes to daily active addresses. You can see since essentially August, September of last year, it has clearly been the blockchain of choice here in terms of daily active addresses, outperforming all of the other major chains, consistently having, 5, 6, 7, 8 million daily active addresses consistently through Q3, Q4 of last year and into Q1 of this year, and Q2 now consistently up at 4, 5, 6 million daily active addresses. You can see for daily transactions, Solana also blowing all of the other major chains out of the water. And again, yes, a lot of the stuff happening here is related to meme coins and AI agents, especially in Q4 of last year. But I think that, these protocols and retail investors are going to flock towards the chain that is ultimately the least expensive and the most efficient to use. If you've used it, Solana is extremely quick, extremely efficient, and extremely cost effective. And so the barrier to entry for both retail and institutional investors using a blockchain is helped by the fact that Solana is extremely cost effective and extremely efficient. It makes it a natural choice when you're thinking about which chain to build on or which chain to use for your business. So I think all of this bodes pretty well for Solana's medium to long-term success. And in the short term, I think we do need to see Solana making a move back up to reclaim that 200-day to continue moving higher. But today's video is all about an updated price target. And again, what we saw was a little bit of an unlock event back in March. I don't think that had a huge impact on the price. I think what you saw with this retracement was always going to happen until Bitcoin found a bottom. And when it did, you saw Solana bouncing as well. And so what I wanted to look at today is an updated price target scenario for Solana by the peak of the cycle. And that's what we're going to share. Again, there are certain variables, guys, that we do have to think about when it comes to Solana and making these price target predictions, because we don't know where these variables are going to land. Again, there's always three variables that I'm looking at when it comes to what's going to happen with these price targets. The first variable is total crypto market cap. The second variable is the dominance percentage of the asset in question. In this case, it's going to be Solana. And the third variable is number of tokens in circulation. And like I said, we did have a bit of an unlock event for Solana in the past couple of months, which means we did have an increase in the circulating supply. And so these are the variables I need to think about when making these price target predictions, okay? You can do this yourself. You can run the numbers and you can use this framework to make your own targets and ladder out strategies. So in a bear case, what I'm saying is I think total crypto market cap could peak at $5 trillion in a bear case if Solana gets up to 4.3% dominance. And again, just to give you some context on Solana dominance, we did get all the way up to just under 4% when we got to those January highs. You can see here on the dominance chart, we got up here as high as 3.93% at the peak for Solana dominance. I do think we have the potential to claim 4% therefore in a bear case scenario. And what that would give us is a $215 billion market cap if Sol can get to 4.3% dominance. Dividing that by about 525 million Solana would put us up at around a $409 price target for Solana by the peak of the cycle. Okay, next up, we've got our base case scenario. In the base case, what I'm thinking is total crypto market cap could peak higher, closer to around 7 trillion US dollars. If Solana can get all the way up to 4.8% dominance, that's going to give us a $336 billion market cap for Solana. Again, dividing it by 525 million Solana tokens will bring us out to a $640 price target per Solana token by the peak of the cycle in my base case scenario. Again, I want to know what you guys think. Drop me a comment below the video. Where do you think Solana can get to in a base case? Maybe your parameters are different. Maybe you think we're going higher or lower than 7 trillion. I want to know where you think the price of Solana is going to get to. So drop me a comment below this video. I'm curious to see what everyone thinks. And finally, in a bull case scenario, what I'm thinking is total crypto market cap could actually peak higher, even closer to 9 trillion US dollars. If Solana can get up to a 5.6% dominance level, that's going to give us over a $500 billion market cap for Solana, giving us around $504 billion as the market cap. Again, dividing it by 525 million Solana gives us a $960 price target per Solana by the peak of the bull cycle. So that is where I'm thinking we could get to by the peak. Do I see a world where Solana could go beyond $1,000 per token in this cycle? Yes, I think it's possible, but I think you'd have to see very strong quantitative easing. I think you'd have to see the stars aligning a little bit for Solana to continue to significantly outperform many other layer 1 blockchains and the rest of the market. And you'd need to see that adoption at least remain consistent, if not increase here from an on-chain perspective to drive more users, more activity, and more growth on the Solana network. But as of right now, Solana is still in a very strong position, in my opinion, to capitalize on this cycle. I think landing somewhere between $600 and $900 is very, very possible, and even higher if the stars align. If you want to learn more about how you can provide DeFi liquidity on the Solana blockchain and generate consistent income and consistent yield, check out the UIG. I'm leaving a link below this video, guys. I'm helping a whole bunch of clients generate cash flow, earn consistent income using decentralized finance, taking back financial control of your own life as we move towards a blockchain world. Solana, I think, is going to be here for the long run. We're seeing it increasing its DeFi TVL and its DeFi market share every week, every month, and I think there's lots of exciting stuff happening. So if you want to learn how to generate consistent yield and consistent cash flow with Solana and decentralized finance, check out the UIG. Drop a comment if you want a discount code for the UIG as well. There is also a free course you can check out for yourself. And today's video is also sponsored by Femex, the most efficient crypto trading and investment platform. If you want to trade and purchase Solana, you can do so over on Femex. Again, proceed with caution. This is not financial advice, guys. Always do your own research when it comes to Solana and any asset in the crypto space. As always, if you got any value at all out of today's video, please make sure to drop a thumbs up before you jump out the door. Hit subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and you've got a completely free gift. Like I said, the rise of Bitcoin is waiting for you in the description below this video. Go ahead, grab it now, and we'll catch you in the next one.